What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day, and I'm bringing you another knife. Bringing you a good one. First of all, before we get started, to everybody who went over and subbed to the Nutty Knife Guy, when I looked, I was watching one of his videos, and he had 454 subscribers, and I was like, wow, he's really close to 500. I said, I wonder if we could just get that bump. The next time I looked, he was at 510. That was less than a day. So you guys kick ass, and here's a good thing. Pay attention to him because he's doing a 500 knife giveaway. So he actually messaged me and he said, I'm gonna have to get that 500 knife faster than I thought. So to everybody who went over and subbed, thank you very much. Honestly, thank you. I mean, the guy's a good dude. He's just a good dude, good knife guy. Speaking of knife guys, Scab, Choir Boys Cutlery, Outdoors. Don't forget him. Don't forget Joe, Steel Forge and Fire, Sword and Knife, Timbo 66, and Captain Electro, and Carl Bruger, and Steve Borg, and just the list goes on. I'm going to actually make a list. I keep saying I'm going to make a list, and I'm just going to go through all the knife channels that I actually watch, and put it down. And put it down, right? Right, Pistol Pete? You hear me. All right, so this one is the ABKT. It's going to be written down there, so if I screw it up, it's all right. Desert Predator. Now, I brought you a couple of their folding knives, like pocket knife style, and I really liked them. They were doing really good, so I was like, you know, I really got to try one of their fixed blades. I've had this sitting for over a year, ready to go. You can still find this one on the web all over the place. I have it pulled up right next to me from a place called NRS World, some kind of knife world. So you can still get them. They're out there all over the place. But right now, if you went onto their actual website, the one that they have that's like this model, it's like the newer version of this, is called the Laramie, and this is gonna come pretty close. It's almost the same. They just, you know, did something different so they can keep their designs going. But if you're looking at the Laramie and you're wondering how good it is, this one right here is going to give you an idea because they're really close. All right, so this one itself, and everybody's going to hear, oh no, the Kydex makes noise. This isn't a tactical combat knife. This is your Skinner. This is your camp knife. This can even be, as Scabber calls it, his pocket EDC, his pocket fixed blade EDC. So you can actually throw this right in your pocket. You don't even need to put it on a belt. So if I wanted, boom, right there. Speaking of Scabber, he's the one who sent me this, and in turn got it from my man, the Backyard Knife Guy, who is just awesome. Ken is a funny dude, and he's one of those kinds of guys that if you got a problem with Ken, you got a problem with me, because I really like that dude. All right, so let's get into this knife. Overall length. Well, first, all right here. Lashing points, adjustable, ambidextrous, molded. It's a nice sheath. It's just a nice sheath. It even has a drain hole in case you get hip deep in water. Does it rattle? Yeah, who cares? If you really don't like the rattle, get yourself a little heat gun, heat it up with the blade inside there, and press it. It'll stop rattling. I just do not care. I almost said do not care. All right, so overall length, finally back on track, 7.5 inches, D2 with stonewash finish, G10 handles, and that's pretty much all they have for the stats. But to be quite honest, it's all you really need. Blade thickness is probably 2.5, 3 millimeters, somewhere in there. This is a nice little Skinner. Now, clearly, we aren't going to go out and chop with it because it's a Skinner, right? But we are going to cut with it. We're going to see how she do. Now, this edge is over a year old, but I haven't used it. It's a brand new edge. So in the box, if the edge doesn't keep, then there's a problem. Wow, that's sharp. All right, so I thought I was about to rip straight through my arm on that one. I know it's light color, blah, blah, blah. I have barely any hairs because I was just using that knife and that new Kubi that I just got. That thing is crazy sharp. And that Kubi, I was just tearing hairs off, so they're starting to grow back. I don't know why I just don't use this arm. This thing is really sharp. Very, very nice in the edge geometry. And you see this bevel right here? Look at that cut right there. when you're looking at a knife designer, or I'm not a knife designer, but a knife maker, you want to know that they can do complex grinds. See how this comes over, under, it almost swoops in both directions. That's really nice. There's a lot of guys out there that are just going to give you, it's like almost like it goes like this, right? And the reason is because they don't know how to do bevels. They just get a belt grinder, and rather than go on normally with a belt grinder, there's a piece of steel behind your belt, and that's how you make your bevels. You press against that piece of steel, and you have to do it over and over again. The cheating way and the kind of easy way, and it's not Barker, who is it? One of those big knife companies does it, but they just do it so well, is you go to where there's nothing behind the belt so the belt can flex, and you put your knife, your steel against it, and you press, and it flexes, and then it grinds all smooth, right? No beveling. And I mean, it'll work. You can get them sharp, right? But it's the least amount of talent to grind a knife, right? So if you want to grind a knife, you know what I mean? You want some cool, complex grinds. These guys do really cool, complex grinds. They look great. All right, so let's take it out and see how she cuts real quick. Bevels cut into the blade. That's how a blade should look. I mean, a full flat grind is nice on a lot of knives, but that's a full flat grind. The ones that you see most people making, like there's a couple of guys on here that do their custom knives, and but that they don't know how to cut bevels into a knife, and that's what you end up with, is that rounded look. This is full flat from here to here, but look, just beautiful, beautiful knife working right there. All right, so let's put this back in my pocket. Let's pick you guys up. Got my drink sitting right there. Gatorade, not a drink. No, I never had a sip of alcohol in my life. Never. D-Bad is 100% alcohol free. Let's see, I got both dogs. Let's go cut. Now that I'm outside and probably shut the door, we can probably, there's not a lot of sun right now. It's a little overcast. We had rain, a little bit of rain yesterday, but right now it's just kind of musky looking out. But you can still see in the light. It's nice. There's the texturing on there. I'm hoping that it picks it up. I'm getting glare. But, oh, here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And it's looking really nice. It kind of has like a wood grain on the G10, which you'll see a lot in G10. But it's nice. When you look at it from a distance, it almost looks plain. But then you see that grain and that texturing, and it's pretty nice. You got like this double choil effect right here. All right, so you got this inner swell, then you got your finger well, or your front choil, and then you have your blade choil, so you can get a really nice up front grip, and it actually works really well. You can have your full grip, or you can have your up front grip, you can have your rear grip. It doesn't matter. You can even have your, hey, this is my spot. This is my spot, come on. All right, so, or you can have your side grips and things like that. Either way, it's a sharp knife and it's gonna cut. So let's do a couple 4-foot drops and we'll see the balance on that song gun. Boop, and that one was all in the user. Guarantee that. All right, one more. There we go, made up for it. It's actually pretty nicely balanced. Small knives, balance doesn't really matter. If people are telling you that a small knife is incredibly balanced, I don't know. I mean, unless it's a little throwing knife, there's no such thing as really needing a balance in a small knife. Hard downward throws, ba-boom. Oh, that's got some bite. That was about 1.5 inches in. Boom. Oh, did you hear that squeak? Oh man, I like it. Oh, first try on the throw. I had to leave the scene to come back in. All right, so let's try and do a push cut. I got to try to find a nice flat piece here and make sure you guys are all in. Oh, we're all in. So here we go. And a push cut digs itself straight into the stump. Absolutely tears it up. One good thing about these guys, the ABKT thing, it's an acronym. It means something, and I cannot think for the life of me what it is. But they do make really sharp knives. The edges on every one I've gotten so far have been good, and I think this may be maybe my third or fourth of theirs, and they've all been good. It sat for a year because I've just had so many to go through. But oh gosh, now it's here. That thing, the handle almost went in. Oh, golly, that's nice. So the swedging does its job. It makes it to be a good poker, but of course that's not what it's made for. It's made to be a skinner. Let's see if we can get enough momentum to get some kind of chop here. I'm doubting we can. Ugh. All right, so definitely we can't, but look at this. It cut through all three and then just hung on to that last one a little bit. That's what made that CRJB knife so good. For a folding knife, I was able to get all the way through, generate enough power, which is kind of crazy. All right, let's see here. Ooh, oh, timber. So that went pretty easy. Let's go check some of the stuff that would normally be used for skinning, like for skin, to show you skinning anyway, some of my material here. So we got some of this nylon, just shreds. I mean, you can hear it, just shred. And we have this soccer balls. Let's use this one because it's less used. And we'll start, it's a good leather ball, right? So what we want to do is just get a good hold on it and just press it in. And I'm probably on the wrong side here. Okay, there we go. And just tear straight through. That went rubber bladder, everything. Just sharp, man. Look at this. Open it up like Pac-Man. It's just a really good little knife. And the size is completely pocket appropriate if you want to do that. And I know Scabber is like he'll tell you all day long the joys of carrying a fixed blade in the pocket. And he's not lying. It makes a lot of sense when you really think about it. Especially if you're wearing shorts that have pockets but no belt loops. Ta-da! It really does make sense. Let's find something that we can shave down over here. I got all kinds of sticks everywhere. Well, this one's dry, so let's see if we can use this. Dry ones are harder to use, but if the edge is good, we should be fine. So yeah, you can carry it on your belt, and it's small enough to where it's not going to freak people out. You can walk into a bank with it, and security's not going to jump on you. But I mean, just look at these curls. These are Shirley Temple right here, not the drink. Let's see here. Let's see if we can just get them to stay, because I'm going too far, because this edge is really, really nice. Really, really nice. So can you use this as your backup bushcraft knife? I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's just a nice little knife. Let's see. Now, normally I'd put the tip down so it doesn't wobble when I do this, but it's still able to go through things. Again, not a chopper. This is definitely a skinning style, but the good thing is you can use this as an EDC. This can clearly cut rope. I mean, it push cuts through rope. That means it'll cut rope. It'll cut all the little things you need to do in your daily stuff. It's going to open packages and open boxes and things like that. There's not much that I could think of when it comes to EDC that you guys don't already know. And this thing will do any and all of it. Like, think of something that, if you really want, think of something that an EDC knife is used for, and then ask me, hey, does it do this? We'll just do it. We'll just do it. All right, so I got some vines here. And these vines are pains in the nugget. They just keep growing. But a good EDC is something that you can take inside, outside, all sides, just every single thing. It's gonna, look at that, I just cut 2 on a push cut of flappy vines. Look at that. Man, it's just good. But that's what you're talking about. You're talking about an EDC. You want something that's gonna cut when it needs to be cutting. It's gonna cut what it needs to cut. And so far, I mean, cutting wood, cutting leather, cutting through rubber, a big thick tire, cutting through vines. I mean, really, you put it all together, it's a lot of the stuff you're going to be cutting. If you don't think that, if he's saying, oh, it can cut through a rubber tire, but it's not going to be able to cut through packaging tape to open a box. Well, then you're a special kind of D2D. This thing is going to do the job. It's going to get it done. It's just a good little knife. And I think I saw it on one of the websites that I pulled it up on just to get the stats. I believe it was like $60 or sub 60, somewhere in there. But good D2 with a good heat treat, a really nice edge profile, an attractive blade, a good sheath, G10, Chicago screwed. I mean, $60. $60. You might even be able to find it cheaper. That was just the first place I looked. First place. But and again, if you're looking for their newer models, go to their website. ABKT, they get it done. Let's see. It says something on there. Oh, maybe this is like AB004T. I have no idea. I think that's what that says. But there's something right there. That might just be the model number, I'm guessing. But right there, it's D2. And it's an American company, too. So for a lot of the guys out there who are like, well, I want an American knife, there you go. These guys, I believe they make everything in-house. So not so bad if that's what you're really looking for and you're high on that. We got some sun. We got some actual sun. This could be really good for you. It's just another option. But if you're talking about, like I have the Benchmade Saddle Mountain Skinner. Great Skinner, right? It's like $225, something like that. This guy right here is a fraction of that. It'll do the same job. It'll do the same job. It'll hold the same edge. It'll last the same amount of time forever. Where's it going to go? It's a Skinner. You're not going to break it, right? It's just a good knife. It's one of those ones that literally treat it like a knife and it's going to knife forever. It'll just keep on knifing. So, did they do good? Did they do right by me? Absolutely. I mean, it's a really sweet cutter. And like I said, I have one of their American Sodbuster type knives, and I have another one, I think, like a Congress style. And they're just made really freaking well. But go on their website, check them out. I think right now they might have 2 fixed blades ready to go. The Laramie, which is the second design of this, and then another one. And then I didn't look through what they have for their folders. But whatever they have, it's going to be American, and it's going to be sharp. I guarantee you that. So, that's it for that. Hi, I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.